guys? It's your boy Luke here for another Jock Market preview, this time for tonight's NBA cash market. If you guys are new to Jock Market, it's becoming one of my favorite ways to play DFS. Last night, in terms of DraftKings, we had 6 players over 50% owned in GPPs, and overall, I'm kind of getting sick of the chalk fest. I'm having a lot more fun over on Jock Market, where we can really focus player by player, trying to invest in people that have positive EV. I've had a lot of success doing so, and not only do we target people in this IPO phase, that's what this video is all about, the people we're looking to invest in during the IPO phase, but you can also invest during the games. There's a lot of opportunities to short players, perhaps that have 4 or 5 fouls, or to target players that are getting a ton of minutes that just maybe haven't gotten the production that they're used to seeing, and you're expecting that to rebound. There's a ton of opportunities in the market to go out and make some money. You can try and target shorting some of the players in blowouts, expecting them not to play. All kinds of possibilities on the market to make some money. In this video though, we are going to focus on our top IPO targets. The IPO phase is where we bid on players before the games end up locking and try to get ourselves some shares before they start. So these are some of the players I think are a little bit undervalued on the slate, whether it's due to injury, whether it's just due to their raw projection in the pre-rankings there. I expect these people to come in at a lower price than they should, and as a result are definitely people I'll be targeting in my portfolio for tonight. Our first target is going to be Keras Lever, and this guy is just waiting to break out at this point. He's one of the most talented scorers in the NBA. He can essentially do it all, and really the only thing holding him back is his health. But he played 34 minutes last game out, which was extremely encouraging. He was on a minutes limit right around 25 minutes for a good amount of the year, but it seems like they're ready to let him go, and boy, let me tell you, you want to be there when he goes out and has that explosion game. This is the kind of player that has 45 to 50 point upside in fantasy games. When he has his shot dropping, he's going to take them in bulk. I mean, this guy's capable of putting up 40, 50 real points in games. So for me, in a very nice matchup against this Hawks team, 2 teams that love to chuck up a ton of threes, this could very well be that blossoming game. He's coming in at nearly number 70 in terms of his pre-rank, which is just disrespectful. They're not accounting for the fact that he played 34 minutes last game, and that's likely to continue going forward. Also doesn't account for the fact that this guy has an insane ceiling. So I have him projected right now at just number 31 on my board for quite a bit of profit there, still at $3.20. I expect him to go for even lower than that. He's pretty much a sleeper pick at this point. People haven't really caught on. He has true $10 to $15 point upside. This is the kind of guy, like I said, that could go out and get you all of those raw fantasy points. And here on the Jock Market, that could be extremely valuable at this type of price tag. Next up, we have Logan's Dort playing against the Rockets, and I really like this Oklahoma City versus Houston game here. A lot of the public is siding towards these Houston Rockets players, and maybe you've seen Christian Wood, KPJ have some big games of late, but this, OKC side has some good guys as well, most notably Logan's Dort and Shea Gil Alexander. Let's start with Dort though. Dort gets you a lot of those defensive stats that you're looking for in terms of steals, blocks. He also hits a ton of threes, and on the Jock Market, that has a way to put up a big score. You get an extra 0.5 points for 3-pointers like you would on DraftKings to begin with, but in terms of your defensive stats, you get a full 2 points. So it's kind of a mixture of FanDuel and DraftKings with their scoring there. You do get negative points for missed shots, but the thing is with Logan's Dort, he doesn't take a lot of shots to begin with unless he's hitting them, right? If he's hitting his threes in bulk, then he'll start chucking up a ton of shots, but he's not the type of player to go out there and go 1 for 18 or something like that. He knows his role. He kind of takes a step back when he doesn't have his shot, which I really like here for the Jock Market. Not going to get a ton of negative points. So I'm targeting him at $2.75. Again, he's not going to go for very much. He's not a very sexy player by any means. But at the same time, when he has his game there, definitely a ton of upside. I have him projected right now in the top 30, but with the potential to crack the top 15 if he has his 3-ball dropping. Next up, Shea Gil Alexander, another guy from that OKC team. He's being a little bit disrespected in his pre-rank there at number 24. Somebody who's going to play big minutes for this team. Again, he's returning from injury, so they were a little bit cautious with him his first 2 times out, but saw an increase in minutes from game 1 to game 2, and all reports out of OKC are that he has no minutes restriction anymore. Should be completely unrestricted tonight. And again, this matchup against the Rockets is just a gold mine. I mean, a lot of people are targeting that Rockets side, and I get it. They're just going to be a little bit more expensive than I'd like, but you're going to get the same boost on the other side of things. And Shea Gil Alexander, he's going to give you tons of production across the board, whether it's with points, rebounds, assists, defensive stats. He can do it all. So I have him projected right now as the number 11 player on the board. quite a bit higher than his number 24 there. I'm targeting him at $7, which is probably a lot higher than what he's actually going to sell for. But again, with a relatively high floor and the ceiling for potentially $10 to $15 payback. Going over to Kyle Lowry, so these top three plays are obviously a little bit more expensive, a little bit further up the board. Maybe not so much with Kyle Lowry, but he's going to be in a great situation tonight, given that we have Jimmy Butler's questionable, Bam Adebayo as questionable, Tyler Hero as questionable, and a few other guys from their bench that are banged up as well. So overall, not many bodies to go around. And anytime Kyle Lowry has had to lead this offense, he's done it relatively efficiently. He's somebody who gets rebounds, assists, and points when he's running point for this team, particularly when a lot of these other guys are missing. And as of right now, I expect at least two of them to miss the game. Probably Jimmy Butler. He's dealing with the worst injury of the bunch. And Tyler Hero is still sick as a dog with that illness. So it's not COVID. Dealing with the flu or something like that. It's something going around the NBA, which is a little bit strange. But boy, Kyle Lowry is in a situation to go out there and ball out. The Cavaliers are just absolutely dog shit on defense. They're dealing with a lot of injuries of their own, a lot of young players, and quite frankly, players that look like they don't want to be out there, i.e. Kevin Love. Either way, though, Kyle Lowry going to have a field day out there, particularly if we have those injuries. I'm targeting him at $6. Unfortunately, with this injury news, he could get a little bit hyped up, could go for more than that. So somebody I'm going to have to keep an eye on the price tag. But if he comes in lower than that, provides plenty of value, it is an injury situation that I'm targeting. Next up at number 2, and this is where the big step up in price comes, but at the same time, the huge step up in terms of their upside. Both of these players have a legit shot of finishing first on the market tonight. First off is Luka Doncic, coming as the 3rd ranked player. He's only projected by JockMKT to score around 48 fantasy points. I have that closer to 52. He's somebody who could be without Porzingis tonight, which could just funnel a little bit more usage his way. He's also somebody who's in a very good matchup. I mean, this Mavs team has struggled to this point in the year, not winning as many games as I think they would have expected. But this Pelicans team is atrocious, right? They're not one of the better teams in this NBA. They tend to run with higher pace, which makes them a good target in fantasy. But moreover than anything, when Luka's in a competitive game, he's not only going to play a ton of minutes, he's going to give you a ton of usage as well. So I always love targeting him when he has a positive game script here. Again, really just kind of picking on the Pelicans more than anything. So I have a target price on him at $13.50. And at the top of the board, the pricing gets wonky. Sometimes these guys go for way too much, like $17, $18. Sometimes they come in way too low, like $12 to $13. So that can get him closer to the lower end of that range. Well, definitely somebody that I'll be trying to add in my pool, probably around 5 or 6 shares. And number 1, though, whether he ends up being in that low range or not, I'm probably going to try and invest in him. I see him as one of the best plays on the slate here. Pre-rank number 10, so not likely to go for very much. I have a little bit of cushion there going up to $12. I expect him to go to closer to $10 a share, but I'd be willing to spend a little bit extra to get him. That's Joel Embiid, and it just comes down to his projection. It's a little bit soft because he's coming back from injury, but his first game back, I'll remind you, he had that overtime game and played over 40 minutes. Last game out was obviously toned down a little bit. Didn't want to run him out there for 40 minutes, 2 games in a row. But now that he's had the rest, a few days off, he should be 100% healthy and ready to go. And this Celtics team, they don't really have a good big man. I mean, Robert Williams undersized himself. Al Horford, the same thing. So Joel Embiid is going to be able to attack the middle of that defense unless they put in Ernest Cantor, which I don't expect them to do very often. The guy usually plays about 8 to 10 minutes for that team. So overall, expect him to be in a very dominant matchup here. He's under-projected and likely to go for way less than he should. When you get somebody that's not in that top 5, people don't want to spend $12 to $13 on him. But in reality, Embiid projects just as good, if not better, than a lot of those players in that top 5. So really like him there. I have him projected as the number 4 player on the slate. Again, a good matchup against the Celtics. Should be getting tons of rebounds and points down low. That is all I've got for the JockMKT preview, guys. Go ahead and let me know who you've got as your favorite player to target. Maybe it's somebody on my board. Maybe it's somebody I wasn't even considering, but go ahead and let me know who you guys got. We're going to have even more JockMKT previews coming throughout the week. Of course, golf content already up for the golf tournament this week. We have NFL content to come. So pretty much something for everybody out there. So make sure to like the video if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't as well, so you guys don't miss any of that content. We're going to have plenty of live streams coming out. I'm going to start doing them for the JockMKT at some point. So during the IPO phase, kind of going over who I'm bidding on, some of the guys that I have my eyes on, and going over any questions you guys have about Jock Market as well. So that'll be added to the fold here at some point, so stay tuned, look forward to that. But good luck with all of your bidding tonight, guys, and let's get some bread.